My name is Sherry. The events I'm about to describe might seem like something out of a drama, but they are all true. For me, they are a past I'd rather not remember. It all started when I was approaching my late 20s. As everyone around me was getting married, I felt a sense of loneliness. As if I was being left behind. I was literally in a rush to get married. Perhaps that's why I was somewhat blind in love. I was okay with anyone who said they liked me. That might have been how I felt. During this mindset, I asked a friend at work. Introduce me to someone nice if you know anyone. Surprisingly, they really did introduce me to someone, a lawyer. A profession that everyone would envy. To be honest, I was attracted to the idea of superiority that being in a relationship with this person would bring. So I eagerly asked my friend to introduce us. Nice to meet you, I'm Sherry. Nice to meet you, I'm Chris. This is how we first met. Chris's initial impression was of a kind, earnest, and gentle man. Exactly the type of man I would want as a boyfriend. As you may know, I'm a lawyer. I'm just an ordinary office worker. I get a bit nervous talking to a lawyer. Don't worry, I don't make difficult arguments in my private life. In fact, I'm often scolded for being too frivolous. Really? That's unexpected. I get that a lot. As you might have heard from our friend, I only finished middle school. I don't think I'm in a position to be talking to a lawyer. Not at all. Your educational background doesn't matter. Please see me as just another person. Chris. Thank you. Yes, I couldn't go to high school due to family circumstances. At the time, I didn't think much of it. But once I started working and saw the grimaces when people looked at the middle school graduate section on my resume, I realized that the world wasn't so forgiving. But Chris didn't care about that. I was genuinely happy. Chris was easy to talk to, had a wide range of topics, and made me enjoy our conversation. I also enjoyed talking to Chris, and the atmosphere was comfortable. It's getting late. Will you be taking a taxi home? Yes, that's the plan. Then, please let me pay for the taxi. Oh, you shouldn't. We just met today. That's exactly why. Could you please meet me again? As thanks for paying for the taxi, will you go on another date with me? I couldn't refuse such a request. His words, like something out of a drama, made my heart flutter. I felt a thrill in my heart like never before and mistook it for the beginning of love. From then on, we started meeting frequently. Mostly, it was Chris who asked me out. Surely he must have liked me. I selfishly thought this way. Here. Would you like to have this? What is it? Open it. I bought it thinking it would suit you, Sherry. I hope you like it. Wow. This is a necklace from a popular brand. Yes. When I asked the store clerk for a recommendation, they suggested this. Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm glad you like it. We were an ideal couple that anyone would envy. A lawyer by profession, kind in nature. He paid for all our dates and never missed giving me presents. Whenever I told this to my friends, they all envied me. Perhaps being in such a situation made me a bit conceited. And it didn't take long for us to get married. Half a year into our relationship, Chris proposed to me. Of course, I immediately said yes. At that time, I didn't think much of it. But now I feel that getting married after just half a year of dating was too soon. We were probably only seeing the good in each other and not even trying to see the bad. It was undoubtedly premature. But of course, everyone around us congratulated us. My friends who envied me made me feel very good. And so, we became newlyweds. However, I quickly realized that this marriage was a mistake. Without even getting a chance to enjoy the honeymoon phase. Chris, are you coming home late again today?
Yeah.
There's a company celebration. Don't worry about dinner. I see. But we're newlyweds. I wish we could spend a little more time together. What? What's that about? Who do you think I'm working so hard for? Well, since you became part-time after getting married, our household income dropped. It's obvious that I have to work, right? Yes. I really appreciate it. Then don't complain. Just stay quiet and follow what I say. Okay, I understand. After getting married, I quit my job and started working part-time at a supermarket near our new home. I had more time, and we didn't struggle with money since my husband, a lawyer, had a high income. The people at the new workplace were all friendly and easy to talk to. Despite that, even though I should have had more time for myself, I felt a void in my heart every day, filled with loneliness. I thought that even if I opened up to Chris, he probably wouldn't understand. Once, Chris understood me better than anyone and was someone I could easily talk to about anything. I wonder when it started that I had to be overly careful around Chris. Looking back, it was after we got married. After we officially became husband and wife. Chris' personality changed completely. Could this be his true nature? Had he been pretending all along? Was he planning to reveal his true self only after making it impossible for me to leave by marrying me? Thinking this far, I felt a chill. I should stop thinking such strange things. There's no way Chris would do something like that. To prove my thoughts wrong, I made an effort to communicate my feelings to Chris. Hey, Chris, do you want to go out for dinner sometime? There's a place I want to try. Dinner? Come on, I've been going out for drinks with my boss every day. Let me relax on my day off. That might be true for you, Chris, but I'm just at home all the time. I just wish we could go out to eat sometimes. What? Are you saying I should cater to your whims? My whims. You don't have to say it like that. I just want to go out with you, Chris. That's being whimsical. You know that's annoying, right? Why would you say that? When we were dating, we went out to eat and visited many places. Well, when we were dating, I had to feed the fish, right? What? Haven't you heard? Men don't feed the fish they've caught. That means I just wanted a wife who would follow me, that's all. How? How can you say that? What's your complaint? You have an easy job and no money troubles, right? It's not about that. I wanted to build a happy home together. Oh, I'm not interested in that. Chris said this while waving his hands dismissively. I couldn't stop my tears. I had been deceived by Chris all along. I was wrong to be deceived, but this was too much. I immediately thought of divorce. It was soon after getting married, but I couldn't stand being with such a person. But I didn't have the courage to consult my friends or parents. They had celebrated our wedding so much, and now to divorce so quickly. I couldn't muster the courage to tell them. Anyway, I proposed divorce to Chris. Chris. I never thought you were such a person. What? You're disillusioned now that you've seen my true nature? Yes, I'm disappointed. We don't have children, so I want a divorce. What? Divorce? You, working part-time, want a divorce? Yes. That's hilarious. How are you going to live after divorcing me? With your lifestyle funded by my income? You can't even talk to your friends or parents about it, can you? If you leave me, you'll really have nowhere to go. That may be true, but being treated like a servant by you is even worse. What did you say? Divorce me, Chris. I can't stay with you anymore. I don't want to. Oh.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, I'll divorce you. But remember, you'll be the one crawling back. After all, I am a lawyer. Chris had always berated me, calling me useless and good for nothing. But I gritted my teeth and endured, handing him the divorce papers. Chris's words were true. I had nowhere to go. I didn't want to worry my parents. And I couldn't tell my friends who had celebrated our marriage about this reality. Chris remained cold till the end, and the moment he wrote the divorce. He said, "Get out now. You're a stranger to me," and drove me away. I had few belongings, so I packed quickly, and the next day, as if being thrown out, I left the house. I walked aimlessly, pushing a single suitcase. Fortunately, it was still bright outside. I have work tomorrow, so I need to find a hotel or something nearby. Hey, isn't that Sherry? As I turned around to the unexpected voice, there was my best friend, Lindsay. She had given the representative speech for my friends at my wedding. What's with the suitcase? Did you run away from home or something? Just kidding. Lindsay. Seeing Lindsay's innocent smile, I couldn't stop my tears and started sobbing. Lindsay, sensing something, said, "Come to my house for now." So, what happened? It's okay, if you don't want to talk about it. Lindsay has always been like this. She's tomboyish and can seem brusque. But she's always been more considerate and understanding of me than anyone else. I've always loved that about Lindsay. I was really happy when she celebrated my marriage. Thinking about it made me tear up again. Hey, I might be sticking my nose in where it doesn't belong, but is it about your husband? That look on your face, did I hit the nail on the head?
Yeah.
But how did you know? Well, it's just a hunch. I mean, that husband of yours, Chris, right? He seemed a bit fishy from the start. Is that so? But you looked so happy, I thought it would be rude to say anything. Maybe I should have said something. No. Even if you had told me, I probably wouldn't have listened back then. Maybe. Thank you, Lindsay. For what? I feel a bit better because of you. That's good. But you probably have more you want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Stay over tonight. You look like you ran out of the house without a place to stay, right? Thank you, Lindsay. Moved by Lindsay's kindness, I started crying again. She teased me for crying too much, but even that felt good, and I cried more. In the end, I kept crying while Lindsay patted my back. Then, I stayed at Lindsay's house, looking for what I wanted to do while continuing to work part-time. I tried to pay her rent from my meager salary, but she refused to take it until I earned a bit more. I thought hard about what I wanted and planned to do. Once I sorted out my feelings, I planned to tell my parents about the divorce. By the way, Lindsay. Didn't you have a boyfriend? Is it okay for me to stay here?
Yeah.
It's fine. We got divorced. Wait, you were married. Why didn't you tell me? I would have brought a gift. It kind of just happened in the flow of things, so it wasn't really a celebratory mood. That's so. And as expected, I ended up getting divorced. It was good I didn't mention it. Having that experience, when I saw you, Sherry. Looking down, I thought maybe. I see. But honestly, the divorce isn't finalized yet. He's not agreeing easily. I'm currently struggling to make it official. Does that mean you're in the middle of a legal battle? Something like that. He's demanding the property division, claiming I wasted his life. That's terrible. It's mutual, isn't it? That's what I say, but he's not convinced. So, it's been dragging on. But couldn't a lawyer resolve it quickly? I thought so too, but his lawyer is quite formidable. Every time it looks like they're going to lose, they quit. That's awful. Well, forget about my story. Just relax for now. Okay. Knowing Lindsay's situation, I started studying law in my spare time from my part-time job. Initially, I wanted to understand what Lindsay was going through. As I studied, surprisingly, I didn't mind learning law. In fact, the process of discovering new information became enjoyable. And I found myself engrossed in legal books. Little did I know then, this would greatly influence my life. Years passed. I quit my part-time job due to certain circumstances. Lindsay was still in divorce mediation with her ex-husband. But now, our situations were vastly different. Lindsay and I were in front of the courthouse. Today was Lindsay's 5th divorce mediation session. We entered the courthouse in suits. Inside, the lawyer we had hired was already there. Nice to meet you. I'm Lindsay. Pleasure to meet you. I'm honored to take your case. My name is Chris. Wait. There was Chris, my ex-husband. I wasn't surprised, but Chris seemed shocked to see me. Wait, you? Why are you here? I'm Lindsay's friend. I came because I was worried. You, of all people, as a friend's companion? Hilarious. Chris made a condescending remark about me. Lindsay looked visibly upset, but I reassured her with my eyes. A high school dropout like you in a courthouse? It's so unfitting. Oh, maybe you're here to be sued. Enough of that. Please just focus on my defense today. Sure. But I'll be expecting a generous thank you. After all, this case has seen many lawyers give up. Chris laughed vulgarly and entered the courtroom. We followed. First, let's have both parties introduce themselves. We've talked several times already, but I'm Mario, Lindsay's husband. Wife, Lindsay. Let's discuss the reasons and circumstances of the divorce again. Mario, could you start? Yes. Thus, the solemn divorce mediation began. It proceeded smoothly, but the opposing lawyer was indeed formidable. And it seemed we were at a disadvantage. It turns out Chris, as a lawyer, wasn't all that impressive. He couldn't make a proper rebuttal and was sweating profusely. Even Lindsay, his client, was sighing. That concludes our argument. Considering the circumstances, it seems only fair that Lindsay should pay the property division to our client. I see. Let's hear from Lindsay's side. Well, this is... Your Honor, may I speak for a moment? Just as Chris, wiping sweat from his brow, was about to speak, Lindsay raised her hand abruptly. Surprised, Chris dropped his handkerchief. I'm sorry to interrupt the court, but I'd like to change my lawyer. What? Legally, it's possible to change lawyers during a trial, but you'll need a replacement. Yes, I'm aware. Wait, what are you saying? I would like to request Sherry, a law student, to take over Chris' place as my lawyer. What? Sherry, a law student. No, wait, you want Sherry to be your lawyer? Your Honor, is that acceptable? If both parties agree, I have no objections. We have no objections either. The opposing lawyer looked at us with amusement and a hint of mockery. Underestimating a law student's ability to defeat him. Wait a minute. I haven't agreed to this. I'm your lawyer. That may have been true, but you don't seem capable of winning against him. I'd rather have my most trusted friend, Sherry, represent me. Do you even know what you're saying? A law student representing you is already extraordinary, but entrusting your defense to a dropout. Yes, any objections? Of course I object. Your Honor, we should pause this trial. Why is that? This woman is just a high school dropout with no real brains. She shouldn't even be in this courtroom. That's quite a statement. What? Actually, she's a top student at one of the country's leading law schools. What? Huh? She's certainly more capable than you, who looks down on people based on their education. What are you talking about? This woman, top of her class. Let's proceed. Chris, if you have a problem, please leave the courtroom. Wait. Order to leave, Chris protested for a while, only to further annoy the judge. Eventually, he left the courtroom saying, "Do whatever you want." A guardian is required when a student represents in court, and the judge volunteered for the role. The judge himself had recommended me for this position. He was the first to recognize my talent as a law student. I must say, my ability to absorb legal knowledge was exceptional. I never liked studying much, but law was different. And perhaps my desire to help Lindsay played a part too. I realized later that somewhere in my heart, I wanted to become a better lawyer than Chris. When Lindsay chose me over Chris to be her lawyer, and when the judge revealed who I really was, I felt an immense sense of satisfaction. All the frustration I had accumulated was suddenly cleared away. It was an exhilarating feeling. Seeing Chris leave the courtroom, looking so small and defeated, made me think about how I had once fallen for such a man and been used by him. The thought infuriated me. But I needed to focus on the matter at hand. To cut to the chase, the trial ended with Lindsay, with us winning. Surprisingly, being a lawyer seemed to be my true calling. Lindsay and I rejoiced, holding hands. This incident quickly became news. The story of a law student defeating a seasoned lawyer was unprecedented. And ironically, my educational background only added to the sensation. Headlines declared, "Education doesn't matter when pursuing your passion." And I was featured in the media daily. Consequently, Chris, who had looked down on me, also made the news. But as a disgraceful lawyer, unworthy of his profession. Naturally, he was dismissed from his job. After such publicity, finding another job would likely be difficult for him. Then one day, I received a call from Chris. "Sherry. I was wrong, I apologize. Can you please explain to the media? It's all a misunderstanding that I spoke ill of you." Misunderstanding? What misunderstanding? Isn't everything true? Don't say that. Look, if you want, we can get back together, right? I'm astonished. You really live in a fantasy world. What?
Goodbye.
I don't want to see or talk to you ever again. Wait, hold on. Sherry. I forcefully ended the call. It's been several months since we last communicated, and I have no idea how he's doing now. But I doubt he's living a decent life. Lindsay, now free, and I are living together, sharing a room. Without the burdens we once carried, our lives are more enjoyable than ever. Whether we'll ever marry again is uncertain. But at least for now, this period of freedom is invaluable to us.